Hi everyone, welcome to the TRFR podcast. My name is Camille.
And I'm Daryl. We are now here at Roosevelt Park, a huge disc golf space in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and we will now introduce you to our next guest.
In today's episode, we invited one of our friends. His name is Mike Garcia. Garcia, as we all call him when we were in college, is currently working here in the United States as a physical therapist. Also, he is a content creator in his blog named Writer in Transit.
Garcia is also pursuing financial independence with his family. In this conversation, we would learn about how he discovered it, how he did his research, going into personal finance, and also his reflections that he also writes in his blog regarding prioritizing the present and the future in your journey towards financial independence.
So now let's hear from our conversation. Hi, Garcia.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Nasaan ka ngayon?
In our house in California.
Oh, wow. Mukhang
Southern
malamig ah.
California.
Mukhang malamig. Naka-sweater ka eh.
Bagong gising lang.
Parehas lang tayo. Bagong gising lang kami. Mukha lang kami naligo. Pero
Nagbihis lang.
hindi talaga.
How about you guys? How are you there in Peru? Wow.
We're doing good. Giniginaw din. Naka-adjust na ng kahit pa paano.
Nakakahinga na.
Nakakahinga na. Pero enjoy naman ang aming bakasyon.
Yeah.
Ang aming travel
Yeah.
Nag-enjoy naman.
Oo. Kaka-Machu Picchu lang namin nung isang
Kamakalawa.
Oo, di ba? Big thing sa atin, Machu Picchu!
So you
mga
said
local-
this is your trial retirement
Yeah.
too, right?
Pangatlo na.
So
Third
is this your
na.
second?
Third.
Yeah.
Yeah, akala namin GG lang kami nung una eh. For first trial retirement.
Kala namin di na mauli.
Yeah.
So, nagulat din kami na nasa third na kami. Nag-enjoy
So-
talaga kami.
Yeah. So actually the road trip that I did was actually parang mini early retirement.
Oo nga eh.
So when I thought about it before, parang ganyan, like what you guys are doing.
Good.
But that's way
But-
longer though.
3 months. Sana kami rin.
3 months.
Kaya namin.
But I haven't, hindi ko na naulit. Hindi ko pa ulit
Haba naman.
Yeah.
So kayang-kaya mo rin to.
Mm-mm.
So before we begin, can you introduce yourself the way you want others to introduce you?
My name is Mike Garcia, or with how my college or high school friends know me as Garcia, but you can call me Mike. So ano ba? I am a physical therapist by profession, but I'm also interested in doing other things and like writing, traveling, hiking, like you guys. And I'm on the path to financial independence,
Oh, wow.
albeit a very slow and winding path.
That's actually everybody's path most of the time. Sa tingin ko sa mga na-interview namin, wala naman kaming nakita na.
Tomorrow, fine na. ganun.
Tsaka straight na, walang challenges. In
Yeah.
ganitong years, fine na kami.
And I guess pag walang challenges, hindi mo ma-appreciate yung journey.
Mm.
Kasama talaga tayo.
Tsaka parang wala ba siyang masyadong learning pag
Oo.
walang struggles. Good. So when did you first encounter financial independence, retire early, and then how did you encounter it?
So it was actually in mid to late 2014.
Aga?
So just after college, we were fresh out of college, just after the board exams actually. And I'm not quite sure actually how I came across this article, but I came across an article called, or not sure what it's called actually, but it's about how to retire early.
Mhm.
And even then that article was saying how to retire early by the age of 50 or 55. And in the article, they gave a formula of how much you would need for you to be able to retire. And so like running some rough calculations in my head, I came up with like $1 million
Wow.
that we needed to retire. So, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. So, and at the same time, during that time, so right after college, I was starting to be more aware of our financial situation, or in particular my mom's financial situation. We didn't really have a lot of money back then, and not like we have a lot of money now, but
A lot
but
better though, a lot better.
but a lot better, a lot better. But anyway, so yeah, so thinking about I was starting to become more aware of our financial situation. My mom was already around 50 or turning 50 at that time, and she didn't have a lot saved up, and she was only like renting out a room, or we were only renting out a room here. And my sister was just about to start college at that time. So napapaisip talaga ako about like, how are we gonna, how is my mom gonna retire? How am I gonna retire if, like, you know, we don't have a lot right now?
Oh,
So this,
panganay ka, Garci?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
dalawa lang naman kami.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it brought about a sense of urgency in me to kind of want to fix things, or at least be able to get our finances in shape. So anyway, yeah. So I was reading some articles about that, and also about success. Like, I was eager to be successful, you know, with work, with life. And I think probably the same day or a few days later, after coming across that article, I came across an interview by Mr. Money Mustache. Yeah. So, and then hearing his interview about, you guys know the story of Mr. Money Mustache, right? So he's basically this engineer who was able to retire by the age of 30, right before their first son was born. And so hearing that story, it blew my mind. And I was like, mali naman pala yung sinasabi no yung sinasabi ng article na nabasa ko. You don't need $1 million. Like, they only saved up, like, I think roughly around $600,000, and that was already enough for them to live off on, for a family of 3. So $600,000 lang, and that was already enough for them. And so it was a very eye-opening and empowering idea, like, to be able to realize that you can actually do that, like, that's a possibility. So yeah, so it just opened my mind, and the possibilities and the potential that I have, or that we have, in pursuing that kind of thing. And yeah, so ever since then, starting then, I just read about early retirement, about managing finances, investing, and all that.
Ang galing. Kasi nung 2014, kaka-graduate lang namin, habang kami, nagliliwa-liwa kami, graduate
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I guess I was lucky, I guess. I swerte na I stumbled upon that.
Right. Kasi, pero Garci, how are you financially in the Philippines? And how are you able to adapt nung nag-move ka sa United States?
Especially nung na-learn mo na ganito pala yung financial situation.
Ng mom mo. Parang...
How was I financially in the Philippines? We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
So how was I financially in the Philippines? I was Lola, pahinging baon. I was like that. And also, so basically, the only financial experience I had in the Philippines was humingi ng baon sa lola. And so that's one thing. And kumuha ng pera sa Western Union. Sa mga padala ng nanay ko.
So
that
at
was
this
it.
time, you're not aware that there's a struggle in the part of your mom in the US?
Hindi mo na feel yun nung nasa Philippines
O
ka?
nababanggit ba nila? O...
I mean, it's not really... It's not like she was struggling, you know. But yeah, I was completely... I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't thinking of our financial situation that time.
Basta may dumarating.
Yeah.
So may naabot.
And even like my first few times visiting the US, you know, because it was our first few times visiting here, my mom was, of course, she wanted us to explore, go to Disneyland, and do other kinds of things. And, you know, I didn't even think about where this coming where this money was coming from, like Disneyland, yung mga pag-travel namin.
Of course, because you were young.
Pagbata ka naman eh, basta ako, sige, di, nakapunta tayo.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter kung credit card ba o...
Oo.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So, nung pag-move mo sa US, na-realize mo ba agad na, hala, bakit ganito yung nangyayari sa finances natin?
Nung nag-work ka na ba? Paano pumasok yung conversation na yun? Did you talk to your parents, your mom?
Yeah. So we talked about those things. And actually, even before I moved to the US. So I moved to the US in October of 2014. And I think I discovered earlier time in probably around September 14. So even before moving to the US permanently, I was already reading about this stuff. I was already reading the articles of Mr. Money Mustache that time. And then, so once I got here, I just continued learning about how to manage money or managing your finances and starting to learn about investing. And I was talking to my mom about it and even my sister. I remember sometimes we would have some family meetings. So we would talk about finances.
Formal.
Wow. Please attend. Please attend at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
It's a round table.
Yeah. So I actually prioritized learning about those things before managing or learning or studying for the NPTE here.
Wow.
Yeah, so I took my time. I took my time with the NPTE. Yeah. I studied that first, and then later on, I studied it for the NPTE, the board exams.
So, gano'n mo katagal inaral? Saka ano yung mga inaral mo? Kumuha ka ba ng ano ba? Paano ka ba nag-comment kay Money Mustache?
Finances.
Yeah, so I was completely clueless about finances, anything to do with finances or managing your money or whatever, like banks, credit cards, and especially investing. So I actually laid out a plan. I had I built my own curriculum.
Wow.
Like ano yung aralin ko this week, next week, next month. Yeah. Okay. But then, I had no idea. Again, I was completely clueless. So I first needed to study like the terms, yung mga terminology about
jargons.
Yeah, like in investing or even like things like credit unions. What is a credit union? Things like that. I had no idea. So I studied those things. I even read the Managing Money for Dummies and Investing for Dummies. So that's where I started.
Sobrang basic in talagang knowledge.
Yeah, super basic. But I think I mostly used those books for really trying to figure out what are the things that I need to learn about. Because in those books, like Investing for Dummies or Managing Money for Dummies, like they really it's a good overview of what you need to learn. But then yung mga nakalagay doon is just really basic. So and then you need to go find other resources to learn from. Yeah.
So, gaano katagal mong inaral siya na...
Kung mag-a-apply ako sa curriculum ni Garci, gaano katagal? Gaano po ba katagal ang curriculum?
Inaaral mo pa rin siya ngayon, hindi ka pa rin...
Siyempre, I'm still learning. So, but I think at that time, let's see, October, November. I don't know, maybe 3 months, like something like that.
Na medyo komportable ka na.
Pero
really
gusto ko talaga
focused
yung pinuna niya aralin yan kasi
Yeah.
So can you, ang curious ako is if you can share, can you let us in maybe sa conversation with you and your family? Because usually, I don't know if lahat nagagawa na, ma'am, mag-usap tayo tungkol sa finances natin. Kasi alam mo naman, especially sa Philippines na Basta may pera na, okay lang
Hindi, at
yan.
saka yung lagay ni Garci that time is hindi pa nga siya nag-NPTE. So,
Hindi ka pa nagtatrabaho.
hindi pa siya nagtatrabaho. Wala pa talaga siyang ino-offer sa table. Pero, kung natin yung finances natin, mother.
Meron ako natutunan, apply natin to. Paano mo in-open yun? How did the conversation look like? Sabi mo kasama din yung sister mo sa conversation.
Ano ba, pinainom ko muna sila ng something para kumalma?
Well, actually, at that time, I wasn't completely not working. I actually had a job that time. I was only working a few times a week. So I had a little bit of
contribution.
Paano ba? Hindi ko na ata maalala. But I think, I guess I'm lucky because my mom is, very open also about these things, open to like ideas and like perspectives about these kinds of things. I guess because initially it was mostly just getting a grip on our budgeting, our spending and all that. So I think that was mostly what we talked about, our budgeting and also our financial goals. So at that time, we were just renting a room, kaming tatlo, just renting a room. And we wanted to save up for a house eventually. So from a room, we went to actually living in an apartment, and then now habili na rin kayo ng bahay.
Wow.
But so we were just setting up financial goals and the budgeting. I think that was mostly it. In terms of how in particular I opened it up or what we talked about, I think I was just kailangan natin pag-usapan yung budget natin.
Parang passing lang, kumbaga nabanggit mo lang.
Direct to the point.
Kailangan magbago, guys.
Yeah. Straight.
Pero maganda kasi na kumbaga meron kang curriculum na inaral mo for 3 months. Medyo extensive yung knowledge na natutunan mo, pero ang ginawa mo pa rin is baby steps tayo. Budget at saka kung ano bang goals natin. Hindi mo mag-invest na tayo. Ganito.
Yeah. Actually, initially it was sorry.
No.
It was mostly budgeting and really just being able to have a better grasp of yung finances namin, like income and expenses and all that.
Sabi
and then
Max, diba? Numbers don't lie.
And then of course, like I didn't really have a lot of money back then yet because I wasn't really working as a PT yet, so I didn't have anything to invest.
So kumbaga, back to basics. Tingnan muna natin kung anong meron tayo, tsaka kung ano yung gusto nating makuha in the future, which is in your case, the house. And now you have it.
Pero curious lang din ako, after you open the conversation with them, parang on board na ba sila agad, sina mother? Wala bang, anak, nagpakahirap ako ng ilang taon para sa'yo, tapos sasabihan mo na. Wala naman.
Kasi laki nga siya na, very open si mother.
Maganda naman nga na open sila. Pero ano ba sila? So, okay, ganito yung suggestion mo. Where do we first start? Na ganun ba sila? In-execute nyo ba agad yung plano? After nyo i-re-evaluate yung situation nyo?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we did. And let's see. I think they were mostly they were on board with it. Wala namang friction or wala namang...
Okay, that's good.
Hurdles na kailangan ko silang pilitin. I mean, they knew that, there was our financial situation was urgent. So they were on board with it. So
pagka tapos yun ng conversation that night, ilang buwan after mo nakita na it's getting better.
The finances or our finances.
Parang, this is the okay, I guess guys, pwede na tayo mag-invest. Kasi na-fix
Oh.
na natin yung financial situation natin. So I guess this time, may extra money na tayo, we can invest. Mga gaano katagal?
Yeah. Well, actually, during that time, my mom already had an IRA.
Okay.
So kumbaga, I think, and all throughout that time, I think she was continually, monthly, she was contributing to the IRA. And yeah, so I don't think there was a distinction where I was like, or we were like, okay, now we can focus on investing.
Okay.
So,
Parang gradual. It was a gradual thing na, okay, we're still managing our budgeting, our finances, but also I was studying about investing. So whenever we had some extra money, then we would, focus that or put that into investing.
Kasi
So,
parang family,
parang
family
team kayo
effort,
no?
team.
You're a team.
yeah, that was the goal, the plan that I kind of envisioned it, that I wanted for us to be able to do. And I think we were doing okay.
Yeah.
Tapos siguro, nung tumasa na si Garci sa NPT, at nag-work na siya, mas malaki na yung na-contribute niya, mas gumanda na yung
Mas nagiging ahead na.
Yeah. And so October 2014, so we were renting out a room. And then by mid 2015, we were able to move into an apartment.
Wow.
But actually, that was mostly not by force, but napilitan kami kasi kailangan ng ibebenta na daw yung bahay na
Yung room.
they're gonna sell the house or something like that. So we needed to move out of the house. So we were kind of forced to find apartments and all that.
But did that affect you guys negatively na force na kayong mag-move out o may margin naman doon?
Not really, like in terms of financially. Well, I guess we could have saved a lot more if we stayed in renting out the room. But I think it was also nice, to have our own place at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then when we got to move into the apartment, then we started focusing on saving up for a down payment for a house.
Wow.
So I remember we even had like a paper lang, and then every month we would see how much we were able to save during that month that would be allotted towards the down. And then nakalagay yan sa that was posted in our refrigerator.
Wow.
para motivation, diba? You can see how much you're doing, like or how your money's growing or your savings growing. So motivation siya.
Tapos makikita mo nga talaga na team effort na that's actually a very nice thing for a family to do.
Natouch ako.
Na, guys, mag-iipon tayo, ilalagay natin kung magkano na.
Oo. Ang galing kasi lahat parang excited na we're getting somewhere, guys. That's we're reaching our goals.
Well, I think it's been me that was excited. But I mean, na-appreciate din naman nila yan, for sure.
Pero kasi ikaw yung naging captain sa ship niyo eh.
Sige guys.
Dito na tayo guys. Siliko na tayo.
Ito yung pupuntahan natin ngayon. So from that time na nasa apartment kayo, gaano katagal na finally nakapag-down na kayo sa house?
About 2 years. But then we actually got some help from my lola. So parang nabenta yung isang bahay yung bahay ni Mami sa Pilipinas. She had a share of that. So that helped with the down payment as well. So yeah.
At saka guys, you have to consider this is California.
Orange County.
This is California. Orange County, kung nasan lang naman yung Disneyland.
Yeah.
So, ganun kamahal yung bahay mo.
Yeah, so it's funny when we were trying to find a house. Side story here. So may down payment. So at least you would want at least 20% down payment for a house. But then we actually saved enough that we can do like 30% down.
Wow.
Sa bahay. So we were feeling pretty confident about this condo that we saw dito. And okay, 30%. I think we have a good chance with this. And so And then our agent came back to us and was like, you guys lost.
Ah,
Nabenta yung bahay sa cash, all cash.
oh.
Yeah.
Medyo
So,
crazy yung
but anyway.
market
Eh, baka kasi hindi yun ang para sa inyo.
Oo.
Pero grabe, no? All cash.
All cash, no? Tas,
Ay, ngayon talaga. Cash talaga.
Kasi ngayon yata yung mga big corporations ang bumibili ng mga single family homes. Hindi talaga tayo makakakompete. Meron talaga silang cash.
Yeah.
Pero nga, baka kasi yung house na yun is not meant for you guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, after 2 years, meron ng sariling... Tapos hanggang ngayon, nagbabudget pa rin ba kayo o iniwan nyo na yung dati yung ways?
Yeah, I think it has evolved over time. I think right now, because then like I was really detailed yung pag-budget ko, like every month inaalam ko talaga yung saan pupunta yung pera, ganun. And even sorry, distract ako sa mga naisip ko. But even before, when I was just starting out, figuring out this budgeting thing, and figuring out how we could save more or better, I even went as far as trying to go to different grocery stores and seeing kung alin dun kung saan mas mura doon. Like, saan mas mura yung mga pagkain. Ganun. I would like to write them down. And I was like, dito tayo mag-grocery nito.
Wow!
So, ganun ka.
So, dito mura yung kamatis, dito tayo bibili. Dito mura yung
parang ganun. Yeah.
So, anong store yun? Para sa mga nasa Cali, para doon na sila mag-shop.
Medyo intense nga yun. Kasi nga...
But you know, I've left those old ways behind.
Yeah.
I think now, we don't really look at right now, mostly do like a monthly accounting.
Mm-hmm.
So we just see how much was our income for the month and how much we spent. Mm-hmm. So we know how much we saved for the month. Hindi ko na tinitignan sa magkano ba yung ginastos namin sa grocery or magkano ba yung ginastos namin sa ganun. And I already had like a good grasp of what our core expenses is or are. And so I don't really worry about those things. Don't worry about the details as much anymore. Basta alam ko na we're saving and not really spending on any material junk or any excesses. Parang I'm confident that we're doing okay.
Yun naman nga yung naging goal mo from the start, na gusto niyo lang na magkaroon kayo ng grasp sa financial situation yon. Now that you have it, but magpapaka-stress pa.
Yeah, so I think so it's been quite a while since we started that. So I think you just being on this path of early retirement or dependence, you really get to know your finance, your income, what's coming in, your expenses, what's out, and you get familiar with it. You get confident na parang down the line you don't really need to look at the details. Mm-hmm. You get a good grasp of your finances.
If there's one strategy or mindset na talagang nakatulong sa inyo that made the biggest impact sa mga financial goals ninyo and your financial journey, what do you think that is?
Strategy or mindset? I think maybe knowing that a lot of material things don't really bring you happiness or lasting happiness. So I think that's one big. And knowing that it's actually within your power and it's relatively simple to get a good grasp of your finance and to be able to save up for your future relatively easily. Yeah.
So hindi siya na hindi naman talaga ganun ka-complicated yung finances kasi minsan ang ginagawa ng iba, ginagawa ko rin noon na iniiwasan ko na lang na may dumarating naman na pera so may nagagastos ako, bakit kailangan ko pang i-account, bakit kailangan ko pang mag-set ng goals. It's not that complicated. It's within your power, within your grasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have that complicated. But then again, I came like before I was making it complicated. I think, I don't know, that's probably a paradox that you need to go through that phase first and then you emerge from that feeling more confident and you don't sweat about the small stuff anymore.
Richard Carlson, don't sweat about the small stuff. Pero ay maganda nga rin kasi ang importante naman talaga sa any financial journey is you face the facts first. Kung ano muna ang situation niyo ngayon. And then from there, you plan. Ang hirap naman magplano nang hindi mo alam yung pagpaplanuhan o yung aayusin mo.
Yeah. You have a goal.
Katulad ni ate nung na nakausap natin si Ate Irene, yung architect, right?
Kailangan gawin mo i-architect mo yung life mo, kumbaga. I-design mo yung life na gusto mo.
Yes. Your life.
So Garci, can you tell us something about your website, Writer in Transit? How did it begin and where is it going? Oh, yeah, we love
where
your
is it
website,
going?
by the way.
Yeah.
We read all your
How did it
articles,
begin? Oh, this might actually be interesting. How did it begin? So, I think we needed to do, I don't know about you, but I needed to do a TOEFL. Yung
TOEFL?
English something.
Yeah,
right?
Kailangan namin yun, syempre.
Yeah. So, you know what? I think my interest in writing probably stemmed from preparing for that.
Wow.
Para tumaas ka sa
Not
writing.
entirely sure, but maybe. Kasi nung college, like I had no interest in English or write, whatever. And actually, in one semester, I almost failed English.
English
101.
But failed English, but not because I was bad at it, but hindi ko ginagawa yung mga pushing activity ni Sir Aldaba. I don't know if you know Sir Aldaba.
Kilala ko ba?
Hina ba yung natin, connection?
Oh, hello?
Hello?
Okay pa.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so how did that start? Okay. Yeah, so I was practicing for TOEFL. So I was practicing writing and all that. And there was a part of me that enjoyed it. And then at the same time, I was again discovering career assignments on 24. I was discovering this new idea that I'm so excited about. I wanted to share it with my friends. I wanted to share it with my friends and whoever. So I was actually writing about it at that time. I was writing about this new idea that I discovered, early retirement, and I was sharing it with kila Yods, kila me, like sa friends ko, and then sa group mates ko, sila Rocky, Trisha. So I was sharing it to them. So I was writing about it. Guys, alam nyo ba, retire by just working after 10 you can retire. Blah blah blah. By just saving and investing that you save. So I think those were like origins of my interest in writing. So I was writing that and it. And also I was writing.
Garci, no? How did they take it? Nung kwento mo kayo na yun.
I think you know. I know the answer to that.
So, but mo.
Well, it's hard because I think I understand. They weren't really as enthusiastic or excited about the idea as I was, because we were in like different situations in, it's like yeah, like ako nandito na ako sa States. Like I was thinking about my mom and yung family namin, and of course the other thinking about med school, thinking about work in the Philippines and all that. So
Iba-iba.
I guess yeah. So they were just mostly like nodding along when I was trying to explain it. I went home in 2015. I remember I tried to explain it to them, like the 4% rule. I tried to explain it to them. 2015. And you can imagine how that went.
Parang ang hirap naman na magkikita-kita kayo magkakaibigan. Guys, may kukwenta ako sa inyo. 4% rule.
Parang siguro, Garcia, uwi ka na nga.
No, actually, they were, I think, yes, I think he showed interest in it. But then yun nga, wala kasing, it was difficult to apply. Like, you can't really invest here in the US, Pilipinas. So, so I understand why hindi sila excited about it.
Basta naman na-share mo na. Pero when did it come to the point na nung nag-share ka ba sa kanila sa Facebook lang to, sa Messenger?
Yeah, sa Facebook.
Paano napunta mula sa Messenger na
naisulat mo ng website?
So at the same time in 2015, I had a lot of time for my. So I have all these things that I'm discovering about myself, or rediscovering about myself, like reading. I was rediscovering my love for reading, and I was discovering a lot of things, and there was an urge within me to kind of share those things that I was discovering and learning about, and so I just I tried to write about those things. And actually, I even shared some of those things. And then I wasn't just sharing about early retirement or that. I shared some of those other things as well. Na cover ko. And then and I guess my interest in writing just grew from there. And then eventually, I had a bunch of things in my laptop saved up. Na parang a bunch of topics about finances, about life, love. So, Pwede
bang humingi ng advice?
So I had a bunch of those saved up in my laptop, and then I also started journaling at that time, which kind of I think solidified my interest in writing. And then from journaling, I was already thinking about starting a blog, and a part of the reason why I think is because these things I wanted to share, and I was sharing it with my friends, but then I wasn't really getting a lot of feedback or a response, and I was thinking, ayoko namang i-bombard yung social media ko with the things that, that people might not find interesting anyway. So maybe I'll just make my own site and publish it there. So eventually that's what I did in mid 2018, right after I quit my job in 2018. So I finally started my blog, but my publishing has been very sporadic since then. But I'm still writing and
why did you quit your job in 2018? I thought you were on your way to fire.
So confession time.
Okay.
So
you are blessed.
So I am all about early retirement, right? I say I'm on this path to financial independence, early retirement. But honestly, I feel like I've lost my rush in getting to that, getting to my FI number, or getting to that point where I can say I've already retired. Sometimes I feel like I already made it, actually. So So anyway, I don't think I answered your question.
Yeah,
Why did I quit
2018.
in 2018?
Mm.
Mm, so I was working full time from like start of or end of 2015. I started working as a PT. And I was working full time, and it it got really stressful. Like I was working long days, and at the same time I was discovering a lot of interests that now I didn't have time to pursue because I was working full time.
Mhm.
So from 2015 that I wasn't really working, I probably working like 3 times a week in 2015. From that to 2016 where I was working probably maybe 60 hours a week.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
You really worked.
medyo toxic yung napuntahan ko na place. So from that contrast, I think I was a bit traumatized.
Napagod ka lang.
Or napagod ako. And so I didn't have the time that I had before to pursue or to focus on writing or traveling or doing other things. And so all the while I was saving up money, right? I was working full time, saving money. And there's always this thing that I was trying to reconcile, which was how do I try to live in the now,
Mhm.
but also try to work hard so I can save up for the future.
Right.
So I think my journey so far has been trying to reconcile those two things. Kasi diba, like for people in pursuing early retirement, of course they work full time, they work hard so they can save, so they can get to that point where they can now retire. But then it's at the cost of you not using the time that you actually have now and putting off things that you would want to do some down the line towards somewhere down the line in the future, towards an unquestionable future.
Yeah.
So you're foregoing the now, the unquestionable now that you have for that possibility of being able to do things in the questionable future, right? You're not sure what's going to happen in the future.
That's right.
So
Yeah. Continue, Darcy.
So I think it just came to a point na I was like, I think I need to do something else. And I was actually interested in this idea of long-term travel.
Mm.
Do you guys know the book Vagabonding?
I've heard about it. Na binabanggit sa Tim Ferriss podcast. Pero
Yeah, Vagabonding by Rolf Potts.
Yeah, Rolf Potts.
Actually, I would recommend that to you guys.
We'll
So I've been
download that.
interested in the idea of long-term travel, like extended travel, right? Not just like 3 weeks or a month or whatever, like a year or at least 6 months or something like that. So I wanted to try it out. And so there were a lot of things that I wanted to try out. I wanted to try that out. I wanted to focus some time on writing. And I also wanted to try out a mini early retirement, kind of like what you guys are doing now. So with all those things, I think I just decided that I should probably quit. It's probably the time to quit and try out other things. And so I quit in mid 2018 or early to mid 2018. And then, I had a 5 months na
Same.
it was a 5-month mini early retirement.
Wow.
Or I call it my 5-month vagabonding.
Yeah.
Or mini early retirement.
So how did that happen? So naisip mo na siya a month before na I will quit in 30 days? Did you just hand off your
Oh,
30-day notice
Did
na?
you save?
Pinaghandaan mo
yeah,
talaga?
of course I did save up for that. So again, this idea of wanting to travel long term has been playing in my mind since 2015, 2016,
Even before.
all throughout those years. And I think it was in 2017 that I finally decided that I would quit work the following year, mid 2018.
1 year in the making.
And so that gave me, a lot of time to save up and plan for whatever I was going to be doing. So, and that's what I did. So I decided in probably, I think November 2017, November, October 2017, I decided I was going to quit. And I quit in May 2018. So I was able to save up some money for my vagabonding or mini early retirement.
So yung vagabonding mo ba, meron kang plan kung saan ka pupunta o talagang vagabond na kung saan lang ako mapadpad?
Well, my plan, because I like so after I quit, I went home to the Philippines. I stayed there for a month. And man, that was probably one of my best times ever. Like, after I quit, like, parang I was just relieved of some pressure, and suddenly everything was like open, like ang daming possibilities that you can pursue. And so I went home to the Philippines to reconnect with my family and my friends, because that was also one thing that I was trying to be more that I'm still trying to practice, and I was getting more aware of before, was I wanted to be closer to my family and my friends. Like, I wanted to stay in touch with them and keep that connection. And so I think that was the focus of my going home to the Philippines then, 2018. Then after that, I went back here and planned out my road trip that I did in August.
Exciting.
And so, yeah. So I did road trip for like almost 3 months. From August to November.
Because you were camping, right?
Yeah.
So talagang mag-isa ka lang nagta-travel, driving?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Was it
definitely. Yeah. Hell yes. Hell yes. Yeah.
Kasi nakaka-relate kami dyan kasi may nabasa kami recently na book. Tell them about it. Parang how not to die with zero. Die with zero by Bill Perkins. Kasi usually sa mga fire, like with us, we keep on working hard because we have this goal.
Kasi ang concept ng FI is you work for 7 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Keep your head down and then save up to 50 to 90% of your income for the future na sabi mo nga na questionable future na finally I'm gonna leave it all and this is it.
And yung concept ng book is way different from the concept of fire. Kasi siya die with zero. Sabi nga, kunwari, namatay ka, tapos may $100,000 ka pa sa bank mo.
That's wasted life hours.
Yun.
Wasted life hours na hindi mo na pala nabaho yung $100,000 na yun.
You can't take it with you.
Yeah, you can't take it with you.
Exactly.
Kahit ba ibigay mo siya sa family mo, kung ibibigay mo siya sa family mo, pera nila yon. So pero pag natira yun sa'yo na $100,000 na sa'yo yun, that's wasted money. You can take that hours back. Dapat pinagbakasyon mo na lang o nag-retire ka earlier.
At saka yung amount of happiness and experience na ma-experience mo ng 20 years old ka is way different when you're 30 years old. Kasi pag 20 ka, pwede kang tumira sa hotel, sa hostel,
katulad
sa
katulad na lang ng ginawa mo. Kung gagawin mo yan, maybe mag-enjoy ka pa rin if you do that in your 40s or your 50s. But it's nothing compared sa nung ginawa mo siya in earlier, nung 2018. I think enjoyment na nakuha mo doon is much more na nag-road trip ka mag-isa.
Saka yung energy mo talaga ngayon. Kasi nung pag-akyat-akyat namin sa bundok, I don't think we can do that. Maybe we can, Pag 50 na kami, but I don't know. Baka mag-Uber ako or yung Uber kasi nila dito horses.
Mag-Uber ka
Baka
bakit sa bundok?
mag-Uber ako packet sa bundok. Wala na ba yung ano na I made it by
I did it.
myself. I did it by
Mhm.
myself. Nag-climb ako, mamatay-matay, pero I did it by myself. I
Yeah.
don't know if we'll still have that energy when we, after 10 years,
Mhm.
15
Yeah.
years. So, yung ginagawa natin na pagbibiyahe might affect our finances. Hindi man tayo
Yeah.
mabilis, di ba?
Yeah.
We're losing a lot of money. Sa
Kasi
Yeah.
we're not working.
we're not working.
In our profession, malaki yung earning potential natin. So we're
Yeah.
losing out on that.
Like for you, you lose 3 months of salary. And then
Yeah.
you use 5 months of salary and you use the 5 months of your saving to pay for those 5 months. So
Yeah.
talagang na-attract.
It's definitely a trade-off. And that's why I said I'm on this path to financial. It's a slow and winding path for me. But the thing is, like, I feel like I'm already harnessing the benefits of early retirement now.
Right.
I've kind of designed my life in a way na I'm still on this path towards financial independence, but I'm still being able to actualize the time that I have now to do or to pursue things that I would like to pursue.
So,
So
talagang surprising na benefit din ng financial independence retire early principles eh. Parang pang sinabi mo nga na hindi ka pa FI pero parang FI ka na.
Oh.
Kasi
yeah, yeah,
intentional eh. Parang dinesign ko yung life ko na ganito. So, I'm actually independent.
Right. It's
Yeah.
not like you
Yeah.
quit kasi nawalan ka ng work or nag-quit ka tas wala kang nagamit na pera. It was an intentional quitting from your job.
Yeah. So isang benefit siya ng FI na. FI ka na pero hindi ka pa FI technically pero feeling FI na.
Oh.
Especially for you, you were able to reconnect with the people that you love, with your family and friends. You were able to reconnect with nature too, with your traveling.
With yourself.
With yourself.
with myself, yeah.
With yourself.
Sabi nga ng friend ko, nag-soul searching daw ako eh.
I think it's that I think for ewan ko sa'yo, pero tingin ko sa kinikwento mo sa amin, that's the best time of your life. That was one of the best times of your life.
That's very inspiring. Usually, yung mga tao, parang sa mga Pilipino, tinutukso ka, nag-soul searching ka ba? Pero, wow, what an experience.
Yun ang parating tukso nila. Soul searching.
Soul searching.
Did you find yourself? Yeah.
Pero kasi ang na-realize din namin when we travel, we meet a lot of people na iba yung stories nila na they quit their job for a year tapos they went here. Yung bang mga memories, you invest in memories, invest in the experience. Kasi money is always there, di ba?
Yeah.
Kitain din natin yan. Pero yung memory ko ngayon, never, parang...
That's actually
it's
part of the book that we read. Life is actually just a series of memories that you collect.
Yeah.
So pag nasa isang place ka lang, no memories, that's your life.
Oo, parang pag nagchichikahan kayo, hindi mo naman makuha. Ito, binili ko to. Ang kwento mo lagi, alam mo ba, nung nandun kami noon, na-aksidente kami.
Yeah. So you're actually accumulating not just the savings for your retirement, but you're accumulating experiences and memories now. You know, you might not be accumulating a lot of money now, but you're accumulating money and experiences and memories. So
that's good investment.
And and I think that's really one of the biggest benefits of pursuing early retirement is you get the that power of or the lifestyle flexibility. You know, you can design your life however you want to, however you see fit for yourself. And I was like that before. Like when I started learning about early retirement, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna work full time 7 to 10 years so I can retire after that. And then as the months went by, or as I started working more and learning about things more, I was like, I'm not sure if I can do that. Working 10 years full time, and then so I was like, maybe I can. Actually, I guess this is the origin of the kung bakit ako nag-quit noong 2018. I was like, maybe I can do a mini early retirement in between, and then get back to work after that. And then continue pursuing early retirement. Or, ano ba? Or you can work like, okay, so let's say you have a savings rate of 50%, right? Let's say for simplicity's sake, 50% savings rate. If you're saving 50% of your income, then you can basically just work half of the year and then take the rest of the year off.
That's right.
Right? Or you can take, or if you don't want that, then you can work just 4 days a week and have 3-day weekends every other week. Or you can work 2 years and then take the third year off, the rest of the year off, and travel and whatever.
That's a good idea.
So,
I'll
and
write
it's
that
just,
down.
yeah, so it gives you a lot of power to, again, really live your life the way you want it, pursuing early retirement.
Yeah,
Because a big key is really getting a grip on your finances is a big key.
and the savings rate. Kasi kung mataas ang savings rate mo, ibig sabihin, mababa ang expenses mo. So, it doesn't take too much money for you to be able to enjoy mini retirements or full-time retirement.
Kasi pag minsan sinasabi ko rin dito, kasi alam mo ba sa Italy, ingit ako sa mga Italians.
May mga nami-meet kasi kami sa travel namin.
Alam mo ba, 6 months silang pwedeng hindi mag-work, tapos just volunteer.
They get paid some money.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but they get paid. 6 months paid time off.
Ibang bansa.
Move na tayo.
Parang, what?
May na-meet nga kami na parang taga UK. Sinabi nga, talagang ganyan sila.
Ay, no, hindi daw nga nila alam na pumapasok lang sila pag summer na.
yung mga Italians.
Pero ang ganda. Meron din kami na-meet one time dun sa train. Sabi nila, yung isa kasi, kahit mababa lang yung mga puntahan niya, parang mag-enjoy lang ba siya? Low cost of living. Yung isa naman, may partner kasi sila. Yung isa, sabi ko, bakit hindi ka kasama niya? Ang dami-dami niyang chika sa amin about sa ibang bansa. Siya kasi, gusto niya, pag nagbakasyon siya, very lavish. So, yung 2 weeks na yun, hindi nila kaya i-maintain.
hindi niya kaya i-maintain yung lavish vacation. So, talagang pa-weekend lang siya. Yung isa, simple lang ako, hostel, ganyan. Pagkain ko ito lang. Kaya ako magbakasyon may gap year ako, gap months.
Oo, kaya babalik tayo dun sa sinabi mo na once na alam mo talaga yung finances mo, alam mo yung lifestyle na gusto mo, kaya.
Alam mo yung pag-iipunan mo.
Oo, madali lang.
Yeah.
So, nung 3 months na 3 months ka ba nagbiyahe-biyahe dito sa sa US?
Almost 3 months. I think parang mga 11 weeks or something like that.
Pagbalik mo ba after mo magbiyahe, did you feel energized, na ready na ako to go back to work, or do you feel like, why do I have to go back to work?
I don't think I felt that though, yung why do I have to go back to work? What? I think I was excited to kumbaga, go on my next journey that I was gonna do. Yeah, actually, I think there was a time that I was like, parang napagod ako sa road trip ko. But it was okay because I spent my time and my energy doing things that I love doing anyway. So, and like downtimes, I think I learned downtimes are like a natural part of your life. Like it's okay to have a downtime. If you feel like you don't have a lot of energy right now, it's okay.
Yes. Like you can be bored. Yun nga yung namin, pina-practice namin. Like sometimes pagka may quiet time ka, parang I have to do something. Kailangan productive ako.
Ng article. Kailangan ko magtanim sa garden pag wala akong ginagawa.
Kailangan ko maglinis ang bahay. Lahat kailangan kong gawin. Kailangan organize lahat. Pero you can be bored. I mean, it's okay to stop.
Embrace the downtime.
And just stare at the window.
Boredom is good, actually. Boredom is the breeding ground of creativity.
Exactly.
That's very true. That's very true.
Kasi ngayon gusto natin overstimulated yung brains natin eh. So sometimes hindi tayo nakakapag-create. Like with you, ngayon marami ka nakakasulat-sulat ka na sa articles mo.
I'm sure marami kang nasulat nung time na ano ka.
Ay, may road trip series
Oo,
siya.
road trip series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how can you pero nung nagawa mo yun, di ba, nagbiyahe-biyahe ka and all, nung pagbalik mo, paano mo ipaprioritize yung saving mo sa future, pero na-enjoy mo pa rin yung traveling or transit? Ngayon ba, meron ka ng plan for that? Or are you...
Meron bang next na travel?
Pero ka pa rin, paano mo ko papayuhan? Garci, paano ko ba gagawin na mag-ano ako?
Nagka-travel pa rin ako pero iintindihin ko pa rin yung future ko.
Yeah.
Did you find a balance?
Yeah, so I think I was saying that I was trying to reconcile the two things nga na, working to save for early retirement versus again using the time that you have now. I think that was what I tried to do after my road trip. I was a solution that I thought of at that was, maybe I can just work part-time for now. And then so I have more time to do other things. So that's actually what I did in 2019, or that was kind of like the next chapter for me after my road trip, or yung time na yon, was trying to design my life. As in, literally, like designing my weeks. So in 2019, I designed my week so that I was working 4 days a week and I was having 3-day weekends every week. So I had a lot of time then, and that's when I did my road trip series, which I'm actually still kind of tweaking right now. But so I was able to so nag-per diem na lang ako sa job ko. So I had two jobs, sa SNF and sa hospital.
Okay.
So I was able to negotiate kind of a fixed schedule between those two jobs.
Wow.
Wherein for this job, I was working Sundays and Mondays because I knew that they had, or kailangan nila ng staff on Sundays. So I knew the days where they actually needed help. So I was like, hey, you know what? I can work actually regularly. So I'm per diem here, but I can work regularly Sundays and Mondays here. And then sa other job ko, I was able to talk to the supervisor and ask if I could get Thursday and Fridays there. So I became kind of like a regular per diem between these two jobs. So it was nice because I had some sort of stability. So like if I was working these days and then I had 3 days off. So that was like,
anong ginagawa mo?
Well, writing, and actually that year, I think I also, or the later part of that year, I continued studying or learning about investing. So that was my life design during that time. Or, well, I guess hanggang ngayon.
That's actually a very good hack or advice na sa mga katulad nating PT or kaya naman sa mga hindi PT na you can actually negotiate with your with your bosses, with your jobs na pwede ba ito rin papasukan ko, dito naman kayo maraming patient sige papasukan ko to, basta ito hindi off ako.
Yeah, because I think a big negative for people why maybe they don't want per diem, aside from of course not getting health insurance, is yung stability. Kumbaga wala kang stability pag per diem ka. But then you can negotiate, some form of stability by maybe knowing which days nila kailangan ng staff, so you can talk to your supervisor about it. And that's what I did.
Guys, sa sinabi ni Garcia, pagbalik natin galing bakasyon
na natin.
Yeah.
2 days.
Kasi minsan, ginagawa rin naman namin yan kasi home care. Ina-atras namin lahat ng patients namin.
Parang hindi namin pinapasukan yung Monday. Kasi
Oo.
usually mga patient, ewan ko, babat ayaw nila na Monday, wala naman sila.
Kala mo may trabaho sila, di ba? Homebound naman.
So, ang ginagawa namin, sige, Tuesday to Friday. Pero
Oo,
minsan
kasi-
kasi nabibigyan ka pa rin ng patient ng
Oo,
Monday.
kasi
so
it doesn't
pumapasok
make
ka
sense
rin.
na lalabas ka ng bahay na isang pasyente lang, di ba?
Mhm.
I-move na lang sila sa ibang araw.
Pero
Pero
maganda
maganda
nga
yung
na
na per diem.
kausapin mo yung boss mo na, ito naman yung
Yeah.
days na
You
marami.
can always ask. Yeah, you can always ask.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Worst thing they can say is, no.
Yes. Kaya maganda nga yung ano ni Gars. Kaya pala sinasabi niya kanina. Actually ngayon, feeling ko fine na ako. Kasi meron na siyang may power over na siya sa mga boss niya. It's not like before, nung nag-start pa siya na,
The boss na.
Ay, hello? Can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah.
Ayun, kasi before, di ba, sabi mo, nung nag-start ka sa PT job mo, you've been working 60 hours, yung feeling mo na traumatized ka na eh.
Yeah, that's
Pero-
the word, trauma.
Ang ganda ng nangyari
Medyo.
sa kanya na he rested for 5 months trying to be
To
with their
regroup.
family, to regroup with himself to. Then afterwards, naisip niya na, hindi pwede. I have the power over you guys.
I can
mean,
design my life.
I can design my life.
Yeah.
Diba?
And that's when I say like you can literally design your life, not just in like an abstract sense, but you can actually design your weeks, your months, your years, however you want.
Like,
If you have a good grasp of your finances, and if you know what's important for you, like what are your values and your priorities and all that. So I think that's really the power of pursuing early retirement. And the best thing about it is that you actually don't have to get to that point where you can say you've already retired to be able to harness that kind of power. Like just in the journey, pa lang to get to early retirement, you can already pick up these lessons and things and that you can use now. So
Sobrang exciting, no?
you're in control.
Kasi minsan na pag iniisip ng mga tao, fine, I have to be slave. I have to be a slave para
Parang
makaipon.
hindi ko makukuha ko nung gusto ko, talagang sobrang pagtitipid, hindi yata enjoy yan. Baka nga kaya yung mga ibang sinasabihan natin, hindi naman sila.
Kasi with
Meron
Pi,
kaming lifestyle na gusto namin i-maintain hindi namin kaya.
Yeah.
Kasi with Pi talaga, it's a delayed gratification eh. It's like you're
Mhm.
planting a seed. Tapos antayin mo maging oak tree siya or something.
Pero
Yeah.
actually, in your case, it's not delayed gratification. You feel like you're fine now.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're
So
not
pwede
really-
naman guys.
Pwede
Pwede
naman.
naman pala.
yeah, pwede.
So, I know that right now you feel like you're 5. Pero pag in the numbers na 5 ka na talaga, what would that look like? And where are you and what are you doing? If you have that in mind.
Well, with my numbers,
Yeah, kunyari, talagang in your
Naka 1
numbers,
million ka na, gano'n.
kunyari yung 5 number mo
Oh.
na-achieve mo na, na hindi ka na talaga kaya mag-work kahit na per diem or part-time, where are you and what are you doing? You think?
kapag na-achieve ko na,
Mhm.
I think I would probably still be doing the same things that I would be doing now, which is, trying to really explore this interest in writing and traveling and learning about investing and snowboarding,
Wow.
whatever.
Ay, ang galing ni Garcia mag-snowboarding ah.
Yeah.
Pinapanood ko pa lang siya, nalaglag na ako.
Nag-try kami noon mag-ski. Medyo hindi namin kinaya.
More on nasa puwet lang.
Bunny Hill lang.
Bunny
Pag
Hill
dumalaw kayo
ano siya?
dito,
Ha?
dalaw kayo dito pag winter mag-snowboarding tayo.
Sige.
Sige, turuan mo kami.
Habang kaya pa namin, habang bata pa.
Yung mga tuhod namin, mabang kaya-kaya pa.
So yeah, I think I would still be doing the same things, and I actually don't think I know exactly what my fine number is,
Mhm.
but I have a good idea of what's enough for me,
Mhm.
and I think that's what's important. Naman is to know what's enough for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and did I answer your question?
Yes. Actually, most sa mga na interviews na naririnig ko rin with other podcasts at saka sa podcast na to is most people is I'm just going to do whatever I'm doing right now because yun nga naman yung mga naririnig ko na interview is yung mga tao na nakaka-reach ng fine number nila is para bang walang pagkakaiba. I've reached my fine number, I'm still going to do whatever I'm doing right now. Kaya nga yung sinasabi nila na do what you think you are going to do when you're retired right now. Because hindi naman talaga yung gagawin mo.
Medyo yun yung difference naman ngayon kasi pag lumalabas kami dito, kain lang kami ng kain. Ano kayang ano yun? Nasa ilalim ng basket ni ate.
Sinasabi ko nga sa kanya, siguro pag nag-retire na tayo talaga, ang gagawin lang din natin, lakad kain.
Naman siguro, sabi niya, the only place that could save us from getting fat is clear water.
Kasi hindi kami naglalakad tsaka kumakain.
Pero kasi, I think kasi nasa bago kasi kaming lugar. So, ina-explore namin. Kasi gusto kasi namin maranasan kung anong ginagawa ng locals. Like, yung pagkain talaga nila, hindi ko naiintindihan.
Yung mga street food.
Isipin mo, may pasta, may patatas na bilog, at
na boiled lang.
Boiled lang, Tapos, itlog.
Itlog na nilaga. Tapos asin.
Sarap naman.
Okay lang.
Lalagyan mo ng asin para masarap.
Pero meron silang sauce. Pero but they enjoy. There's
nakakabusog naman.
Nakakabusog. Tapos dos lang. 2 soles.
2 soles. So parang halos 30 cents, 60 cents.
Wow.
Not bad.
Pero ayun nga, tama ka. Gawin mo na yung gusto mong gawin. Pag nag-retire ka, you design your life right now.
Para seamless yung transition. Retire ka na. This is it.
So, and I think that's one of the lessons you learn when pursuing early retirement is you get in the process, you get to know yourself more. You get to know what you want, what makes you happy, and you would want to try to start incorporating that in your life now. And so
Ang galing. So ngayon ba, Garci, meron ka bang, is there any crazy expense of time or money na binili ka ngayon na is giving you enough value and joy sa present life mo?
Naisip ko because just the other day, ni-renew ko yung pass ko for snowboarding, yung Icon Pass. Medyo mahal.
Yeah,
but makes sense. Something that I get a lot of joy from snowboarding. So I guess that's one. Buying the snowboarding Icon Pass. And
gaano katagal ba yung season pag binili mo yung pass? Gaano katagal mo siya nagagamit?
So the season usually is from as early as November to maybe April. Ganun katagal.
So
pero I consider Garci as an expert now kasi ang taas ng mga mountains na.
Intermediate.
Parang kung ako, ibaba nyo na lang ako, sasakay na lang ulit ako sa lift.
Well, knock-out pa rin syempre.
Pero ang galing kasi I think I can say na I saw your improvement nung nag-start ka pa lang. Kasi pinapanood ko talaga yung mga snowboarding mo kasi inaano ko talaga ano na mangyayari, saan na siya pupunta. Pero ngayon, grabe, galing na ng skill niya talaga. Pwede naman, pro.
May season pass.
Pro na.
Makapunta.
May season pass.
Yeah. So when you guys visit here, snowboarding tayo.
Gusto ko muna, napakadami na ng patience mo, Garci, kasi most of the time talaga nasa puwet lang.
No problem. I think I'm
Our next question is, this could be related to FI or not, but what have you learned recently that you would like to share with us, and how do you plan to apply what you've learned in your life moving forward?
What have I learned recently? Wala ata ako natutunan recently.
Aside sa investing, sa snowboard.
O kaya change of mindset na nangyari sa iyo recently.
Or book that you've read.
Yeah. I think I I guess ito yung pumapasok sa isip ko because I just listened to a podcast about it. It's the ability to change your mind and admit that you might be wrong about something. Just being more open-minded and having that humility that maybe my belief isn't actually, right or true or whatever. And I think I'm thinking about this more of in terms of investing, maybe. So in investing, there's a lot of things that you learn and then later find out now maybe that's not the best thing or things like that. And of course, it's not just in investing, but you can apply that anywhere.
To anything, yeah.
So just being more humble and knowing that you can be wrong about something.
That you don't know everything.
You don't know everything, exactly. And I think.
Yeah, that's actually a good lesson for everyone, not only to people who are pursuing financial independence. So what have you learned with our conversation today?
Ang dami ko natutunan, pero sabihin ko siguro yung top 2. Yung first is having the courage to talk to your family members and tell them na this is the situation that we have right now. It's either we do something or not. And what I'm happy with Garcia's situation is open-minded sina mother. Open-minded sina mother. Tapos gusto ko din yung nagkaroon talaga sila ng teamwork na, guys, andito na tayo. Tapos excited sila lahat kasi although tinitingnan ni Garci kung saan napupunta ang pera, ganyan. Excited sila lahat kasi they have a common goal. Yung second is you try to, even you're pursuing financial independence and you're trying to save money for your future self, you also want to invest on your present self, right? On your present self, invest in experiences, invest in the people around you that feeds your soul. Alam mo yun? Kasi you'll never, how old are you right now, Garci?
30.
30? Ako din. Ikaw din.
Ako din, 30.
Happy birthday nga pala. Belated.
30-ish.
Parang you'll never be 30 again. You'll never be 30 again. Your energy right now, your life right now, you might not have it in the, sabi nga unforeseeable future. You can plan all you want. Yes. You can plan all you want. Sabi nga, kami nga, laging 100% detailed planned sa mga trips namin and all. But sometimes, life happens.
There's flight delays.
And all that. But if you try to design your life right now and you try to live the life you wanted in the future, then no regrets.
Yeah. No
Kasi
regrets.
happy yung present self mo, then your future self could be happier too.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
So,
in relation to that, isang benefit ng pursuing financial independence with our early is that you can be fi but not fi. You can feel fi, but sometimes hindi ka pa fi, pero I feel like I have the sense of enough. I'm happy with what I'm
And
doing.
I think that's actually probably more important than than the numbers and
exactly.
the money that you have. And actually, so maybe I can share not a lesson that I learned recently, but one of the biggest lessons probably that I learned over the past years or in pursuing FIRE, early retirement, is the importance of time over money, which I think all of us know anyway. But the thing is, a lot of us know that, time is more important than money. But like, how many of us actually try to practice it?
It's hard.
So, so the importance of time over money, because, money, when you lose money, or pag nawalan ka ng pera, you can always try to gain that back. But the passing of time cannot be undone.
That's it.
So
it's a non-renewable resource.
Yeah. So I guess I will just urge people to really examine like what is important for them. Like if you say time is important for you, if you say it's important for you to spend time with your family, like how much of that are you really practicing, right? So yeah, so I guess that's one.
So yeah, it should show in your schedule if you're really prioritizing time with your family or if you're
Yeah.
prioritizing money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and knowing what is enough, and with early retirement, you don't need a lot of money. You just need to know what's enough, and what is enough depends entirely on you, right? So you have control over that.
Good.
Yeah.
Ang ganda.
Very well said. So if people can reach you, where can they? And if yes, where can they message you or reach you if they have questions with regards to vagabonding or financial independence?
Or maybe just passing the TOEFL.
Where can they reach me? I guess you can check out my site, writerinTransit.org. I think my Instagram is linked to that, so you can try. And hopefully I would be publishing a lot more soon. And actually, I'll probably be publishing about investing and about this concept of designing your life.
Wow.
So stay tuned.
We'll look forward.
Excited.
Now I have to be accountable for that.
Wow, kasi
Because
i-share niya sa atin ang curriculum niya. Maganda yan kasi na maraming mga tao na parang, yeah, sure, we should invest, but where do we start? I don't even know what credit union is, right?
Yeah, and we didn't get to talk about that, but that's maybe next time if you guys want. We can talk about that next
part two.
Like
pag gumawa ka na ng book, Garci.
About lifestyle design. All right, thank you so much. We really learned a lot. Actually, baka may mga principles kagaya ng sa work na i-apply namin pagbalik namin sa...
Oo, mag-PRN na ako. Thank you, Garci. 4 days na lang din ako mag-work. Baby ko na lang mag-work ng madami.
Can I just share one more thing?
Oh, sure.
Yes, of course.
So I want to share a quote that I try to live by from my favorite author, Annie Dillard. So she says, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. So what you do today and what you do the next day is what you are doing. That's what you're doing with your life. So you have to make sure that what you're doing right now is actually what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Dadagdagan ko lang yun, okay lang ba?
Yeah.
Kasi minsan, merong quote na, you live this day as if it's your last, right? We know that na this could be your last day and all. But sometimes life happens, life takes over. You just have to work, you have to do this, you have to follow this certain schedule. But I guess, yung life kasi is very fragile. We've seen over the pandemic, we've seen a lot of people that just died. Na they were healthy and then all of a sudden, ganun. I guess what I've dito sa trip namin ngayon sa Peru, there were times that I was just crying kasi lalo na nung umakyat kami sa mga mountains, parang halayak na naman ako. I was just crying kasi parang nakaka-overwhelm. It's an overwhelming experience na I thank God na I was able to experience this kasi if today is my last day, then it's okay. I'm with you. My family's okay. Tapos, I get to experience this moment na ang ganda naman ng mountains. Ang ganda naman ng gawa ni Lord. And I guess that's what financial independence gives you. Yung comfort na you're at peace with your finances. And so you can live the life you want to live. You can see the things you want to see and be with the people you want to be with. And it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Overwhelming. So thank you so much for your time. Sobrang thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so happy for you guys that you guys are traveling and exploring and harnessing the time that you have now. And I'm happy for you.
This is a humbling experience. You know how it feels
Yeah,
like. You've
you
been
did
there.
it for 5 months. So yeah.
That's why we were so excited to talk to you kasi you know what it felt like, pag kasi nagbibiyahe ka, it's always a humbling experience.
Yeah.
Sabi mo nga, you thought you know everything, but nope.
Yeah.
Minsan nakapasin ka ng life na hindi talaga, hindi mo alam. Wala ka talaga.
More or less, yeah.
More lessons. And ayun. And for today, we feel so blessed na nakausap ka namin.
Yeah, that we have actually known yung mga experiences mo and how you were able to prepare for that. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well for inviting me. And I would be happy to do this again if you guys want sometime.
Yes, we would love to. Malam mo naman, maraming season. Akala mo maraming nanonood.
Season 2 na ba tayo?
Season 2 na tayo.
Season 2 na tayo, di ba? Kakaano-ano lang naman kasi season 2 na.
By the way, can I just say, idol ko kayo sa pag-publish ng mga gawa nyo. Because biro nyo, nasa Peru kayo ngayon and you're still doing this thing. Like, I think that's really what it means to be a professional. Like, rain or shine, you're doing this thing. So that's, medyo na-inspire ako to keep publishing or writing. So,
kasi with us, I don't think we treat it as a schedule or a
parang
job.
di namin pino-force yung sarili ba namin.
Kasi, kasi alam mo, like with our podcast guests, like with you, we are very excited to talk with you. Kasi, ang saya makarinig ng mga stories.
Yeah.
So yun, very inspiring stories. So,
I guess, I'm grateful too na, wow, like right now, may nakakausap na rin ako na mga, katulad nyo, na friends na, they know what I'm talking about.
Pero struggle nating lahat.
Pero I guess, you just have to find your people. Ganon.
Yeah.
And we found you.
Thank you for finding.
Eventually, part 2.
Part 2. Bye, Darcy. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you.